How's everyone? Can everyone hear me okay? Just double check the sound. Let me know that you can hear me and we will get started. Hope everyone is well. Some apologies are definitely due. I do apologize greatly. I was actually meant to cancel the last podcast and I actually didn't realize that I obviously hadn't hit delete. So it was still live for like another 3.5 hours or something. But I've been having like energy crash outs and I just haven't been able to get my ish together and put together a podcast and come on live. So I do apologize. Definitely should not have happened, and I'm sorry if you are waiting. Last time I had scheduled a live that was 100% an accident. I do apologize. But I'm feeling a lot better today. I think I need to definitely take some more iron. It does happen a lot when you're out here in Bali, like people do get sick, and I probably just need to take a blood test or something, get myself checked out, see what's going on inside. But also just like the heat and the being in the aircon all the time, all those things, like they definitely do affect your health. It's not what I'm used to back home. But otherwise, grateful to still be in paradise. Right, let's get onto it because there's a lot that I missed. Harry and Meghan gracing our screens, our red carpets. So let's start with, what shall we start with? Oh, I'll tell you what we'll start with. Invictus! The next Invictus host country has been announced. Congratulations to South Korea. And I had been hoping that this would be the case because I was going to put it on my wish list to go if it is in South Korea. South Korea, a country rich in culture, heritage, and at the last Invictus Games, they sent a delegation there. They were already trying to shake hands, let it be known that we want Invictus to come here. You know, developed infrastructure, everything that you would need to host a brilliant games. And I'm sure they will bring a dose of Korean culture to all of the games, opening, closing, the events. Very much looking forward to this. And I believe this will be the first time that an Asian country or Far East Asian country will be hosting the games. So congratulations to the Republic of Korea and very much looking forward to this. I think that I'm going to try to make it to this one, to the 2029 games. Anybody else going to put that on your wish list? Brilliant. Right, next thing. Harry, our man, was out at the Times 100 Sports Gala. And he was also honored there. I mean, what can I say? I, and I'm sure all of us really get annoyed when anything annoying happened to our faves. And, you know, the court loss with the Daily Fail was just another annoying thing. But obviously, Harry has taken it in his stride. This man has dealt with worse. And I just love how he's acting like it never happened. And like I said in one of my Substack articles, I think that just keeping it moving has really actually annoyed the tabloids, because I feel like if Harry had gone beyond just his initial statement, they would still be doing pathetic victory laps even now. And I get the feeling that the reason they haven't is because A, Harry's just gone, oh well, I lost the Daily Mail court case. Here I am at the Times 100 sports event, being honoured for founding the Invictus Games. So who gives a flying ish about the Daily Mail court loss? Oh, a Daily Mail court loss? Well, Meghan just got nominated for an Emmy. What? Moving on. Anyway, Harry was taking pictures with all of the athletes, editors, CEOs. Harry was also just on the James Corden show. It had been recorded prior, but they aired it just now. And it was him, James Corden, Rio Ferdinand, and some other guy. And the way they were just going back and forth, having banter. Harry talked about, his opinions on why England lost, trying to keep it very diplomatic, of course. But James Corden even said in his little segment with Harry, Harry potentially even being England manager. When I tell you, I would cackle so hard, I would burst an intestine if that ever happened. And honestly, I feel like Harry has it in him. Like, he actually asked him, well, what do you think could have been done differently? And Harry was like, it's about mindset. I definitely see Harry doing some kind of sports show, podcast. Like, he when he was talking to James Corden and Rio Ferdinand, he was in his element. And I'm sorry, I'm grabbing that genie bottle and I'm rubbing it. Can we? Okay, if Harry was captain, or sorry, manager, not captain, manager of the England football team, could we have a situation where he was like co-manager just for major events? So like they bring him in as a co-manager for like the World Cup or the Euros? Because if he was actually manager, wouldn't he have to like live in the UK? And obviously like Harry's not going to do that. So can we like create a co-manager position so that Harry can co-manage for one of the big events just to annoy William? Because William's like the patron of the FA, whatever, right? But I definitely see Harry could have his own sports show. For sure. Because he just has the charisma and the banter. Anyway, back to the Sports 100 Gala. There was one really funny moment on the red carpet where a photographer said, Mr. Duke of Sussex, sir. And Harry said, you are the most polite set of photographers I've ever met in my life. And I'm sure they are. Because goodness knows the British paparazzi are something else. Here are some more pictures of our man inside. Looking very dapper. Oh, and there's... Where do I have that really funny picture of him? Oh, yes, I do have that really funny picture of Harry talking to the ladies. But I'm going to just let you enjoy these pictures first. I mean, the palace and the press probably didn't even know that he was going to be at this event. And they're still having a tantrum over the kids meeting Charles, still thinking they won something because of the court case. Harry said as part of his speech, in the arena, sports wasn't simply rebuilding strength. It was about restoring confidence, purpose, identity, and connection. Very well said. It's at these type of events where connections can be made, collaborations can be talked about. And when you're in these type of rooms, people respect you if you've built something. See, look, here is Harry having a nice, calm conversation, polite conversation with the madams. with these fine ladies here. Now, look at the comparison with William. Like the fake smiles, the awkward giggles. And if I remember correctly, the reason the women looked so awkward was because the movie was about I think the movie was about SA or something. And he kind of made a comment that was inappropriate about the movie. And it was because he hadn't even watched the movie. Hilarious. Anyway, we know that Harry just has so much ease when he's around people, whether it's around, you know, sportsmen and women, Hollywood stars, whoever it is, or young kids. Here's some more pictures from his appearances in the UK. When he was with, what's it called? It's Scotty's Little, or Scotty's. For the families, particularly children of bereaved, for bereaved military families. I tell you, the magic that happens when Harry steps out. You know, the goat stepping on his balls. The goat was a paid op. The little boy, you know, climbing on him. It's just adorable. And it just comes so naturally with Harry. It's never forced. So there was that. Meghan was on MasterChef. Did the episode come out, or are these just the images? Has anybody seen it yet? I wouldn't be able to see it because I don't have a TV. So I'm going to be scouring the internet trying to get the footage. But here are some pictures. I don't know if the episode is actually out yet. I'm still scouring the internet to see what I can find. But this look is so Rachel Zoe, is it not? It's so Rachel Zoe. She looks phenomenal. And I'm sure it will be a brilliant episode and right in line with, you know, with Love Meghan and the As Ever brand. Make sure you're following the As Ever Instagram page. They post weekly. Lots of lifestyle inspo over there. So there's that. Camilla celebrated her 79th birthday. I didn't know she was actually a bit older than Charles. With a portrait. I also didn't know. Rather strange astrological phenomenon. Well, I didn't realize, rather. Camilla, Diana, Prince William, and Prince George are all Cancers. Might explain the chaotic kinship between them all. So, Buckingham Palace released this new portrait. Camilla marked her birthday with a renewed commitment to supporting children's literacy, with the announcement that every 6-year-old and P6 child across the UK will be gifted a special edition of the book Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rindell this Christmas. Okay. Free books. You know what would actually be more useful? A can of beans. A can of beans for the poor children would actually be much more useful than a book. Something that they could eat. Or perhaps some heating credits for their homes, because it'll be rather cold at Christmas, and many of them won't even be able to put the heating on. But yeah, that is Camilla's good deed of the year. You know, I think about the fact that Dolly Parton created a whole imagination library where children can get free books every month. And Camilla is giving out one free book. And who is actually paying for that, by the way? Where's the money to give away those free books even coming from? Camilla can actually do more. She chooses not to. She has her house that Charles has given her, or maybe even more homes, inheritance. money, upkeep, to go what she wanted. Queen of side chicks indeed. All right. Next thing I wanted to talk about. Oh yes. New Prime Minister is in the house. This is going to be the 4th Prime Minister for Charles. Oh, and his first call of duty is to end homelessness. He says, I will soon go through that door behind me, and my first instruction to end rough sleeping in our country. Has he told William? Has the new Prime Minister told William that he homelessness? Because William has made it his duty to end homelessness. So we don't want anybody fighting over who's going to end homelessness. We all want homelessness to be ended, but we don't want William feeling like his shine has been stolen. But if both the Prime Minister and the current heir, future king, want homelessness to be ended, well, looks like we're finally heading in the right direction. So the former Greater Manchester Mayor will become Britain's 7th Prime Minister since 2016 and the 4th of King Charles's reign. So a lot of the papers are presenting this as an opportunity for Labour to begin again. I'm not holding my breath. I don't know enough about this guy to make a judgment. And Labour have been very disappointing on many things so far under Keir Starmer, so I guess we will see. Anything is better than a reform leader, having said that. So I'll take it. The last time it went uppity hoo-ha in Parliament, it also went down with the monarchy. So it's interesting how the different newspapers are trying to define what this means. So The Guardian has focused more on Burnham's promise to give the country hope back and challenged decades of centralised politics. One of the things he said was that he wanted a number 10 in Manchester. I don't really care what the number 10 is. It's where the power and the money is distributed. The Telegraph has repeatedly described it as a coronation, placing greater emphasis on Labour's crisis and the lack of competitive leadership contest, and more neutral coverage is likely to concentrate on the formal confirmation and transfer of power. Some people feel that what this new Prime Minister is going to bring is more charisma, that he's a great communicator, that he's going to bring a more relaxed leadership, and that he wants more distribution of power throughout the country. Now, what does this mean for the royal family? I don't actually know. I don't really know what I mean, obviously he's the Prime Minister, so he answers to the king, but secretly they all have their own opinions, and, you know, Parliament does do things regarding the monarchy that aren't necessarily always announced. Obviously, the sovereign grant has been increased. So it'll be interesting to see under his prime ministership if that changes next, in the following year, if he lasts that long. He could be there for 30 days for all we know. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what this prime ministership looks like and whether it has any changes coming for the royal family. Okay, before we move on to the next thing, I've got some audio to play and a few more articles to look into, and then yeah, we will keep it moving. Let's read. Hello, if you're coming to the chat just now. Yes, congratulations to South Korea. Yeah, K-pop. Can we get some K-pop artists for the opening and the closing? Hello. Helen, you said you can't be manager of any football team without being a former footballer or coach. Oh, really? Is that true? I feel like they should change that law. We can have Harry be co-manager. Harry should have done like a World Cup watch party podcast like Trevor Noah's. Honestly, I see something like that coming for Harry. He'd be so good at it. Oh, the episode for the MasterChef is out on the 26th. Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you. I will look out for it. Is there a troll who likes to masquerade as cookies and cream? Is that so? You know, it wouldn't be the first time the trolls have taken the names of other regulars in our chat and tried to masquerade as them. But I've caught them out before and blocked them, so don't even try. And cookies and cream is actually a mod, so like you can see her little mod badge, so you'll know. Yeah, how dare he take Willie's initiative? Trying to take people off the street. You know, William, the Prime Minister will take people off the streets, and then William will find a way of getting them back onto the streets, just so he can say he ended homelessness. Do Brits vote for a PM? During the general election, yes. But if it's not an election, well, they have to hand power over to whoever else is in the party. And then it's the party members that vote. By the way, I've just looked on Twitter and he's fired like, I don't even know, like 10 people from the current cabinet. He said, bye. Bye. 7 prime ministers in 10 years, good grief. Exactly. Can you imagine if this was an African country, what they'd be saying? Benjamin, what does charisma have to do with anything? That is a good question, but apparently to some people this is important. How old is he? Well, I don't know how old he is, but he's not walking cabbage old. He's not orange menace old. So that'll be good enough. Okay. Next thing. Let's talk about... Gosh, I've got a whole list here. Where should we even go? Yes, so apparently there was meant to be a music festival at Sandringham. Oh, sorry, Sandringham. I always say that wrong. But it was cancelled due to low ticket sales. Now, remember, these are the same people who will tell you that Harry and Meghan are missing out on royal advice, and that royal advice is the gold standard. They're missing out on living in a shack beside a castle. They're missing out on being part of the most elite, the most popular, the most sought after royal family ever. And the message is always, everybody wants to be associated with the left behinds. Everything the Windsors touch turns to gold. Honey, lately it's turning to dust. Except the reality is actually quite different. The fashion labels worn by Kate go bankrupt. Major royal holidays are sparsely attended. And literal tumbleweeds roll past empty royal barricades. And now, Charles is having to cancel the Sandringham Music Festival because nobody bought tickets. Because bots can come online and attack my comment section, as they do regularly. But they will not buy tickets. Mind you, they actually managed to get some pretty decent artists. Christina Aguilera, Eric Clapton, Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie just keeps showing up. Listen, Christina Aguilera, she hasn't been like a major pop star for a while, but she's got a brilliant catalogue. I would tune in to see Christina Aguilera. She still does shows. She did the Olympics, I think. But even that still was not enough. Listen, let me tell you, if it was Harry and Meghan doing something and all of those same artists showed up, people would go. I didn't even know what this was. So GCE Live, the organizer, announced on Monday that the Norfolk tickets had been cancelled after a financial rescue package fell through. Scissor Sisters were also booked to perform. And also, they had some other festivals around it that have also been cancelled. Now, the concerts would have taken place about 2 miles away from Andrew's new home on the Wolferton on the Royal Estate. And about 30,000 fans had been expected to attend the festival, which was set to run from August 19th to the 23rd. Beginning with a performance by Janet Jackson, Jesus, supported by Soul to Soul and Wyclef Jean. They even had Craig David, Blue, Ricky Martin, Sugar Babes, Alexandra, Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones. The King started hosting the Heritage Live concerts in 2023 with 3 days of concerts, and this year it had grown to 5 days with glamping and camping also offered in the surrounding fields. That's actually some pretty decent names. How do they manage to not get enough ticket sales? Actually, do you know what? Do you know what I think the problem is? They've got big names, but it's a little bit of a mishmash. Because I'm looking at that. They're all great artists, but it's like, I would maybe want to see Janet, Christina Aguilera, Lionel Richie. They would have to be very smart about who they put on which stage and when. I don't know, maybe that's where it went wrong. Because if I was looking at just the artists, I wouldn't really care that it was the King's concert or whatever. Anyway, suddenly royal reporters are wary of even speculating about the numbers. Now, about 30,000 fans had been expected, but how many actually bought tickets? So few tickets were sold that Sandringham's cost-benefit analysis was like, nope. You can't stage this expensive festival for something like 500 ticket holders. No, well, I guess the royal brand just isn't really bringing them in. Turns out Royal Association doesn't mean much financially. And Royal Association doesn't drive ticket sales. And that's probably what they were hoping. I think that if they had gotten a smarter marketing and organization team to sell this, they could have just sold this. But I think they were probably hoping that the royal name would do all the selling, and that didn't happen. Because that's actually a pretty impressive lineup, I've got to say. I'm surprised the lineup wouldn't even just sell itself. Oh, well. You know, this is when people say, oh, you know, Harry and Meghan are just using their royal names. Harry and Meghan are going to be nothing without their royal names. Well, this is just proof that it's not the royal name that brings people in. It's whether or not people honestly like you. Yeah, titles cannot sell tickets. Titles don't donate money. Yeah, there was something about Kate's challenge only raised a couple of thousand. Let me organize a Sussex Squad donation drive tomorrow. We'll get tens of thousands of pounds. And if you're lucky, Harry and Meghan might see it and then double the donation. That's exactly what happened with CampFed. Benjamin, and you said, have you heard of this blogger named Tanisha, a black female travel blogger? She had a horrible experience with Airbnb. It's long but entertaining. Only watch while eating and relax. I think something like that may have actually come up on my feed. One thing I will tell you about Airbnb, and sadly I didn't actually know this until after I'd had some terrible experiences. They are actually very good about moving you to another place if there's something wrong with your current Airbnb. They will either upgrade you or just find something the equivalent. They're generally very good at that. All right. Next thing. What did I want to? What did I want to? All right. No, there was nothing else I wanted to. Oh no, sorry. There was one other thing that I wanted to get to. Um, Katie Nicholl. Katie Nicholl, I'm sure, is thanking her lucky stars that that Daily Fowl court case was lost, at least for now. It is so obvious at this point that Katie Nicholl has a direct line and has had a direct line to the palace. And what annoys me is they have these so-called royal uncensored royal shows, and it's basically just these dumb royal rota rats feeding whatever it is that the palace tells them. It is not impartial at all. They are feeding a narrative. And I want you to listen to what Katie Nicholl says, and we will dissect.
What I was told, I didn't want to sort of go too much into it with Di because I was so fascinated by what he was saying about the security side. But
it's also rational and factual.
Absolutely. Yeah. But what I found so interesting was that it was ultimately the king who managed to pull off this 11th hour meeting, cloak and dagger. So I was told that no one knew about it apart from...
You were told that no one knew about it. No one knew about it, but you were told. Who told you, Katie? Who told you? Who are the sources? Who are the sources?
The King, Meghan and Harry. There was a call made from Highgrove because Camilla and the King spend their weekends often separately, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show. It's not as strange as it sounds.
It's not as strange as it sounds that a married couple spends their time separately. Notice how she's very, very quick to just correct her little slip of the tongue there. Why is it not as strange as it sounds that a married elder couple spend their time separately? You see what I mean? These people are just playing in our faces at this point. What is the point of upholding all this fairy tale and pomp and pageantry? For what? So that Katie Nicholl can come here and feed us some whatever narrative it is that they want us to believe? And who's telling her? Who are these sources? I hope no one's phone was hacked. According to the court case, nobody's phone was hacked. We're not trying to get sued over here.
The King called the Queen and said, this meeting is going to happen. They're on their way. She jumped into the car, didn't tell anyone. Her children didn't know. No one knew at all. And it was very much, I was told, the King's way of showing...
No one knew, but you knew that she jumped in the car. No one knew, but somehow you know, and you're telling all of us, Katie Nicholl. Katie in her polka dot dress, Nicholl.
This can be done without the need for taxpayer-funded security.
Yes.
Yep. This can be done without anybody needing to find out about it. But the caveat was, this is a litmus test for trust. No pictures to be released, nothing to be leaked out. And as yet,
no
several days, we're nearly a week on, nothing's come out.
Just walk through this metal detector, please, Harry. And
leave your camera at the door.
Yeah, pretty much. Leave the Netflix crew.
I mean, the assumption that it would be Harry and Meghan leaking, when all of the leaks have been coming from the palace, and if, because we don't know for sure, I don't believe it's been confirmed, if Meghan and the kids were at the Spencers, we don't know anything about that. I'm actually starting to believe that maybe Meghan and the kids weren't there. We haven't seen a single picture of them. If they were, we don't know nothing. And we should know nothing. And I can guarantee you the Spencers will not leak.
Please. I mean, yeah, it was really interesting how it was able to be kept private. And that's the thing that, you know, Harry and Meghan have been harking on about since they Mexited all those years ago. We want privacy. And clearly that was able to happen and on private grounds.
I noticed that they're talking so much about the meeting with Archie, Lily, Charles, and Camilla, but they're not even talking about the Spencers and what may or may not have happened if they went and had that meeting. That's not even been on their tongues.
Grounds, not royal ones, or palace grounds, as you would say. So it was actually kind of a testament to the fact of, you know, it can be done. They can recoup that relationship privately without media scrutiny. But it just depends who might break that eventually, who might break that trust.
Well, it's not going to be Harry and Meghan. There's also another audio that I wanted to play. It actually hasn't loaded. Give me a sec. Where is it now? Ah, yes. Prince William and his laziness. Apparently, they're having trouble getting William to do any overseas trips. Lazy William with his laziness. Let's give this a moment to load, folks. Julia, you said they wanted to get away from the cesspool of the hate and being flicked to the press dogs. They somehow managed to evade the tabloids when they were here. Why didn't David Beckham be a proxy at the World Cup? Wasn't David Beckham there? I'm sure I saw pictures of David and Victoria. I'm sure I did. And you said William did not go to the World Cup, and he is the president of the Football League Association. He was feared of being booed again, just like he was at the Boston Basketball. I think that's actually the reason why. Now that you've said it, I didn't actually think of that. And he's been booed quite a few times at these football games. Ellen, you said Kate only raised under 2,000. Well, I raised just over 8,000. Little old me for a hospice near me. Congratulations to you, Helen. That is amazing. Congratulations to you. I mean, even the whole thing about her raising 2,000, while the sovereign grant they get 100 million. Insane. Okay, let's play this. This is, I believe that's Royston, and I don't know who the other guy's name is.
One thing that it does give, like, a little bit of a warning sign in the weeds is we've had a briefing very recently from to the Daily Mail along the lines that the Foreign Office can't get William to travel overseas. And that he's been abroad 8 times to either watch football or rugby, but they can't, he refused to go to Jimmy Carter's funeral. Charles had to force him to go to the Pope's funeral, and he can't completely forget duty.
Do we actually have a moment where we went, oh, Dad, I'm not going to the Pope's funeral. What am I going to wear?
I disagree.
I can tell.
It's not a sense of duty. I mean, he went to meet Trump in Paris. He did go to the Pope.
But it can't just, duty is not doing the bits you want to do and refusing to do the bits you don't want to do. One thing that it does give, like, a little bit of a warning sign in the weeds is we've had a briefing very recently from to the Daily Mail along the lines that the Foreign Office can't get William to travel overseas.
And this is while William is still a prince and not even king. So he's getting on Parliament's nerves while he's a prince and not even king. Remind me again, when's the last time William and Kate did a tour overseas? It was the Caribbean tour, right? What was that, 2022? William's going to have an interesting kingship. And with that, I think I will end the podcast today. I will end the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, as always, folks. Very much appreciate you. Benjamin, you said, yeah, Spencer's wouldn't leak. Do you know some people with high-tech masks exist that were once only in possession of FBI where you can't recognize the person. They look real. Oh, really? That could be, yeah. Like those, not even high-tech ones, but like, what do you call them? Like they're made just to look like somebody else's face and you put it on. And it's a disguise. That could also actually be a possibility. I didn't even think of that. Heck, for all we know, Meghan could have been walking around London with a red wig. Great way to disguise yourself. All right, folks. Gonna call it a day. Oh my gosh, Miss September. No, we're literally finishing. Watch the replay. Come, Mr. DJ Tom, on the replay. You're gonna have to watch the replay. But if you come back tomorrow, Miss September, I will definitely do a podcast. I'll definitely do another podcast, and you can join us on that live. But please join the replay gang. And if you are on the replay gang, make sure to hit that hype button, please. Let the YouTube algorithm know that we're here. Enjoy the rest of your day, my lovelies. Ciao.